So sitting comfortably, wherever you are, sitting comfortably on the chair or on the cushion, on the floor, or whatever it is, wherever you are. The only thing is keep your spinal cord straight, and then let's begin. So closing our eyes and relaxing our shoulders. Hmm. And breathing in and breathing out and paying attention to the breath. Either by paying attention to the nostrils, the sensations in the nostril when the breath goes out and when the breath comes out, or by noticing the slight rising and falling of the chest as the breath goes out, goes in and goes out. Here and now, this is how my body is receiving the breath. Watching it with curiosity and openness. And if the mind is wandering around, it's okay, bringing it back to watching the breath, watching the body as it is receiving the breath. Now, as we take in one breath, pay attention to the nostrils of the heart, whatever you have chosen, pay attention to that body sensation closely with curiosity, noticing every little thing, and then letting go of that breath. And again breathing and again noticing. And is it exactly the same as it was for the first breath you started noticing? Is the second breath slightly different, maybe quite a bit different? The body sensations may not feel the same when we take the breath each time. With curiosity and with close attention, is it possible to notice that the breath doesn't feel the same in the body? And now paying attention to the body one part at a time, paying attention to the entire head, the back of the head, skull, face, neck, the entire head, paying attention to it, and how does it feel like inside as well as on the skin? What do you notice first? Take one breath in and notice how does what do you notice in that part of the body? Where does that tension go as you take one breath in? Breath in, notice how it feels like in the head, all the sensations that attract your attention. And now again, you're breathing and paying attention and see if it is exactly the same as before. Notice that each time you pay attention, there could be something slightly different. Maybe on the skin, there is a slightly different sensation. Maybe there was itching before and now it is not. Maybe the nature of the itching has changed. Maybe some part of the head there was slight ache, but the intensity could be different. Maybe the mouth felt dry, the dryness may be different each time the breath goes in. Noticing that nothing is staying the same as we are watching our head. You may need to look at all the subtle things. Some things may be obvious, but with curiosity, opening our attention and observing whatever is already there and how it is permanently changing. The only permanent thing is the impermanence. And now paying attention to the shoulders, the upper arms, and again noticing the body sensations there on the skin as well as inside. Is there any tension? Is there any itching on the skin? Is there any ache or pain? And as we keep noticing, notice that things are not the same. The sensations do change slightly sometimes, sometimes in a big way. A shooting pain may happen, or something that seems to bother may just become okay. The only permanent thing is the impermanence. And the lower arms and fingers and nails, noticing everything, all the subtle things that are going on there. And noticing the changes. The fingers don't feel the same. There may be a tingling, maybe a slight movement. And now coming to the chest and the upper back. Notice what sensations are there. any pressure, or any ache or pain or discomfort. On the skin as well as inside. When you start viewing it or paying attention to it again, right now, does it feel exactly the same as before, just a second ago, or has it changed? The only permanent thing is impermanence. And now the tummy and the lower back, what movement do you feel there? What sensations do you notice there? And noticing that movement means change. Things are changing, they're in flux at all times. The only permanent thing is impermanence. And now noticing the entire upper body, and noticing any changes, any movement, any body temperature, any itching, twitching, aches, pains, noticing anything that's going on and the changes that are happening at every second. The only permanent thing is impermanence. And if there is any ache or pain you notice, then saying to yourself, this will pass too. This will pass too. And if the mind is wandering around, bringing it back to the upper body, turning eyes inwards, noticing all the movements that are going on, contraction, expansion, and all these are subtle changes. Sometimes they may even not be that subtle. This body is constantly in flux, experiencing change at all times. And now going to the thighs and knees, breathing in and noticing how it feels like in that part. After you breathe in, how does it feel like? And noticing the changes. The only permanent thing is impermanent. And moving on to cows and shins. the body sensations as we breathe in, and noticing the changes each time we breathe in and pay attention. There is a slight change that you may notice. The only permanent thing is impermanent. And now moving on to the feet, ankles, heels, toes, toenails, upper part of the foot, paying attention to both feet and noticing what's going on there. If you notice any tingling, that means there is a constant change happening. Similarly, if there is any twitching or any body sensation that you feel, knowing that it doesn't stay there permanently, the only permanent thing is impermanence. And now looking at the entire body all at once, allowing attention to notice whatever it does, allowing yourself the experience of the entire body, and noticing that different parts of the body are constantly changing. Maybe something you don't even notice, but knowing when we look at the body, knowing somewhere that it's changing. So many things are going on in this body. So many movements are happening, expansion and contractions are happening. Air comes in, goes out, blood is moving, cells are not sitting still, neurons are firing, and all this is creating another moment that's not exactly the same as the previous moment. The only permanent thing is impermanence. Without our knowing, our body is working, functioning, moving, changing. The only permanent thing is impermanent. When you notice something, if it is possible to say to it, this will pass too. Breathing in and noticing how the breath is changing the body. Breathing out, noticing how the breath is changing the body. Mind is back to the body. And when the attention goes back to the whole body, where does it go first? What does it notice? Whatever it notices going there, and allowing yourself to open your attention with curiosity and simply noticing what little things, big things are going on in that part of the body. No judgments, total acceptance, simply observing. Hmm. Breathing in and breathing out, and letting the attention move around in the body. Even the attention is constantly changing. Where it goes, for how long it stays, what it notices, that also is perpetually changing. And as you notice this impermanence, see if it is possible to be okay with it, to simply objectively just accept that yes, this will pass too, and impermanence is the only permanent thing. The only thing that is constant is change itself. Is it possible to have complete acceptance, as in not the discomfort and the maybe possible irritation or anything like that, but simply as if, yeah, this is what it is, a fact. Just telling yourself the fact and see if it is possible to accept it without resisting or without holding yourself back. Hmm. Sitting here, paying attention to the body, noticing the changes and accepting the changes, this will pass too. And now, with that, we are coming to an end of this meditation. So, again, breathing in and breathing out and relaxing the shoulders. Hmm.